Hi friends, welcome to my channel. I am Sunique and today I'm looking at setting up my traveller's notebook passport size. And I'm not quite sure I'm going to do this, but I thought I'd share it with you for my upcoming trip to Paris. This is what I normally keep my passport in, and also what I keep euros and things in. It's quite nice. I've had this for years. I've took it on a few trips. This is my passport, which I keep in this cover and this cover because I thought it was lovely and it's leather. And don't ask me where I got it from, I don't know. So let's take it out without revealing the information. So this is the cover. It's nice, isn't it? I really like this one. But it has been a bit of awkward to keep getting in and out when you have to present your passport, but it's nice to keep in. But anyway, here's my passport when we were in the EU actually, so I've had it a while, and what I thought was it actually is quite similar to the colour of my traveller's notebook, which is why I thought about actually having it in here. So this is the traveller's notebook. I did do a whole walkthrough of this unboxing. This is the Love and Trip version and it's the red version, and I think it goes lovely. And also, today has come a package, which I also thought I'd share. I might have to cover that bit up because it's got a swear word, but I thought it was really funny. So this is a pencil case, and to quote my dad, instead of saying that word, he used to say buck. So where the buck did my day go? Now I love this because it's got the 70s vibe, which I really like. The sun image, like, you know, the name that I choose is Sunique, and some people call it Sonique, but it's Sunique. But yeah, the sun part of that. And I'm always, this is one of my pet peeves, is where did the day go? Because I don't know about you, but time just like slips away from me so fast. But let's have a look at the inside. It's sort of plasticky. It feels like it's recycled. Let's see what it says. The system for carrying your stuff. No, yes, 95% recycled. And it was £6.50. Wouldn't do that. Where'd my go? It says, where'd my day go? It doesn't actually say the swear word on it. But yeah, so I think I might take that with me as my pencil case. And then this came from Hotcakes, by the way. Let's put them over there. Let's have a look what's in here. It is the Wonderland passport. Isn't this amazing? This is just so apt. I hope it fits in. So it's a pocket notebook, a handy travelogue for your inward journeys. This blank notebook serves as your official passport to lands fanciful, fictional and otherwise. It is not down in any map, true places never are. A quote by Melville. And this is the Unemployed Philosophers Guild, and it is 48 lined pages. If you don't know where you are going, any road will get you there. It's Alice in Wonderland, and I am going down a bit of a rabbit hole, aren't I? Oh, look at this. So it looks like a passport. This is really cool. It's just perfect, and we've got all these cards going round, and yeah, cards, tarot cards for me. But yeah, we've got all these cards floating around. This is just absolutely perfect. Perfect. We've got tips for travellers. What's it say? The rule is jam tomorrow and jam yesterday, but never jam today. Hope it's not a traffic jam. Say what you mean. Rule 42. All persons more than a mile high to leave the court. Begin at the beginning, go on till you come to the end, then stop. It's good advice. So it's stitched as well. I love stitched bindings. Really do. So let's put it in my traveller's notebook. Okay. So this is a passport one as well, and this is actually a Midori, which is who Traveller's Notebook were originally. And I'm going to take that because I've got a pen in there which is also a traveller's notebook pen, which I can take with, and it's a fountain pen. So I'm going to fill that up and I'll take that with me. As you see, it's brass, it's patinaed there. So I shall fill that one up. Yeah. It has room for little slots here for little bits and pieces that I might want to put in, and also I can put something there as well, so that will be useful. I'm going to use one of these. Let's have a look. It's a leather folder. Natural tanned leather. And I am going on trains and metros, so that might be a nice addition, mightn't it? Possibly. Just place it in the back there. It'll hold anyway. So I've got note paper, I've got my passport, I've got my pen, I've got my pencil board, I've got my blotting paper, and I've got this leather folder for my tickets, because I'm going to do some print some of my tickets out. These lovely images. Oh, Angel of the North. It's gorgeous. All these. Oh, Anne Hathaway's cottage. We've got loads of beautiful images here. Yeah, anyway, I digress. Oh, that's a bit sticky there. Look at this sticky here. And I'm going to put my notes at the front. That. Put those in there. That's. What I haven't done is put this insert in, and the reason I haven't is because it's pretty bulky. So this is future me. I'm back. I've been to Paris. I've had a wonderful time, and I thought I'd do a catch up on the decks that I used and the traveller's notebook and how I eventually set it up. Okay, so the traveller's notebook, as you can see now, it's really dinged. Yeah, got marks on it and everything, so that's great. Really enjoy that, getting dinged up. And this is how I eventually did set it up. So I kept the brass pen, the fountain pen, used that. I actually kept it in there, it was fine, because when I use this, I just used to take it out, write in it, and then slot it back in. And the passport went in behind there. And the other side of this, I kept some tickets. We have Bateau bus. Yes, I went on the Bateau bus down the Seine. So I kept that ticket, and I kept a few others as well. But they're somewhere else now. But I still got that sticky there. I never did get it off. But look at these. Oh, it's got a little train on when they stamped it, because I went on the Eurostar. And so they did it as a little train. I thought that was really nice. And especially as it's on the page where it's got the tube train there and all the tube tracks there. I thought that was really great. So this is really useful. I finished the whole book, as you can see. I had some stickers, which I got from La Galerie Lafayette. Some stickers, there's one. So they're dotted throughout. Mona Lisa, which I never got to see. A little citron there. A little metro entrance as well. Oh yeah, and that Paris sticker, which is the same as this postcard that I bought. All blingy. So I can use this now, and it's so useful actually to look back at my card pulls, which is I use this for in relation to the cards and how they reflected my time in Paris. So I thought I might share that with you. Okay, So I put here places to go and I didn't go to all of them. I went to a few. The top of the list was the French Playing Card Museum, and I'll put a few images of that up. But I have recorded a separate video of that, which I am editing at the moment. So if it's something that you're interested in, then I'll pop a link below once I've uploaded that video. There's a Starbucks in Paris that's very ornate, but I never got to go there. Versailles, I went to Versailles. My little maps on the estate of Trianon, which was Marie Antoinette's estate, which was amazing. The Louvre, no, I didn't get to go to the Louvre. Too many people, you know. Eiffel Tower, I saw that when I was on the Batter bus. I could not believe how big that tower is. Couldn't believe it. Amazing. The Abbas's metro sign, I don't think I actually got that one, but I got a couple of metro signs, which I took snaps of. Notre Dame, I spent a lot of time in Notre Dame. Didn't go to that metro station, Art et Métier. Galerie Lafayette, yes, that's where I went. Oh, that's where I got this from. The cemetery where all the famous people are buried, didn't get to go there. And Moulin Rouge, well, that's a story in itself. I tried to get there. I failed. Okay, so let's go through the card pools and how they reflected the days. So the decks that I used were the Tarot of Mystical Moments. Love this deck. And the Antique Anatomy. Now, the Antique Anatomy, I have got a copy of this, but I bought a second copy to take with me, and I bought it on one of the Facebook trade groups, buy-sell groups, and it came with this beautiful bag, so thank you. That's really nice. And most people know this deck. It's been out some time. So I thought I'd try and gel with this one because I haven't gelled with it before. And also I took along the Modern Tarot Reader, which is the accompanying guidebook for this deck. So let's go through the card pools. Well, I finally made it to Paris. It took me about 8 years to get here, give or take, but that's another story. I arrived last night, late last night. Paris is an hour ahead, so I sort of arrived around 9ish by the time I got to the hotel, or apart hotel as it's called. And yeah, so it was sort of 10 o'clock this time, but I was so tired. I've been travelling for like 12 hours. I want to share some of my tarot practice while I'm here, as well as a little bit of a vlog. Yeah, when I was deciding which decks to bring, initially I thought I'd bring the Tarot of Mystical Moments alongside the Botanical Oracle that I just bought. So this is the deck that I'm talking about. So I asked the deck if it wanted to come along. And it gave me this card, the Ten of Wands, which I took to mean if I'd bring the Botanical Oracle as well as the Mystical Moments Tarot, it'd be too heavy, and I got a lot to carry. I got a long way to come. So under no uncertain terms, it said no, don't bring both.
So then I thought, well, I do want to bring another deck, so what shall I bring that isn't going to be too heavy? And I thought, oh, the Antique Anatomy Tarot, which is by Claire Goodchild. So I asked the Antique Anatomy Tarot, and I got the Three of Elixirs, which is the Three of Cups. And I thought, yes, they want to come and they want to have a party. So yeah, they definitely wanted to come. And I also pulled, because I've been a little bit nervous about the whole trip, so again, before I came, I pulled another card from the Antique Anatomy, and I got the Magician here. And I thought to myself, you know, this is a beautiful card. It's sort of telling me that I can bend and I can shape and I can craft my own reality with this journey here in Paris. I'm not part of a group, I'm travelling solo, and so I can actually create my own adventure with the Magician card. And it's got the backbone here, I presume, and it's saying I've got the strength and I've got the backbone to actually do this and to make this balance here that I see with the red and the white. I can have a really nice time relaxing as well as seeing the sights, and so that's what I got from that. So I thought, yeah, I'm going to bring the Antique Anatomy, and I'm going to bring the Mystical Moments Tarot. I'm sorry, my mouth is dry. Ever since I've arrived here, my mouth has been so dry. I don't know, it's very strange. Anyway, so I got here, and then last night I pulled two cards from the one from the Mystical Moments, Tarot of Mystical Moments, and one from the Antique Anatomy. So I drew the Ace of Swords. I thought this was brilliant, this card here. So it's like unlocking your mind, isn't it? We have the key here, and we have the keyhole in the brain, like the Nautilus shell, I think it's called. Nautilus. Anyway, the shell. And so we've got that sort of keyhole there in the middle, so I can unlock my mind and have new experiences. You know, this is going to unlock a part of my mind that wasn't aware before, so I'm really looking forward to that. And I also got, which I thought was really strange, the Five of Elixirs, which is this card here. Now, when I got the Three of Elixirs, when I actually asked whether they wanted to come, the Antique Anatomy, if you look at the card here, written on the card are, on the bottles, Joy Tonic, Bliss Elixir and Love Potion. So I took that to mean, yes, I'd love to come with you on this trip. And yeah, we're going to have, it's going to be a tonic for both of us. And we're going to experience the bliss of the journey together. These two cards were just amazing. But yeah, last night I got the Five, and I thought, oh, this is strange. It says morphine on one of them, and I took that quite literally, as in I need to sleep, and I did. I really need to sleep, and I feel like I still need to sleep. I'm very tired. Cyanide? Why cyanide? I don't know. And I can't really, the other one is just Fitzpatrick Pharmaceuticals. But yeah, I can see the brain and the pelvis, so the brain really needed to shut off for a while. Definitely needed to shut off for a while. Because when you're travelling, you're always on alert, aren't you? You know, like people with me in the carriage, and, you know, it's all these different energies. I'm not very good with lots of people around me. I pick up on energies, and it's sometimes I need to shield a little bit more than I do, I think. Anyway, this morning, I drew the King of Wands, the female version. Isn't she wonderful? She's going to light my way through this adventure with that light there that she's carrying and blossoming, absolutely blossoming in this atmosphere. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then I actually had two cards from the Antique Anatomy, the first one being Strength. So it's going to give me the strength to do today, because I'm, like I said, I am still tired but I want to get out and explore a few things. So I need that strength there. And the Hermit, which sort of reinforces the fact that I'm doing it solo. But I notice we've got like the flame here on the candle, which echoes this one for me. And you can see that. So there's a flame on the wand there, and there's a flame in the brain there. So yeah, those are my cards for today. So I thought I'll just document those while I'm here. So yeah, thanks for watching, and see you in the next instalment. Bye.
So this is my pull for Wednesday. The Page of Cups, the Lovers, the Six of Pentacles, and the Star. And I went to a little place called Bob's Cafe, which was in a foyer of a cinema, and it was really nice there, really laid back, really friendly, really enjoyed it. And I had my drink there, I had a lovely coffee there, and I felt a little bit like a fish out of water. That's how I saw this card. It's like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know where I'm going, I haven't really planned very well, I'm just doing things on the fly really. And so yeah, totally felt like a fish out of water. And I decided to go to Notre Dame, and I spent quite a bit of time in Notre Dame. What an amazing place. In fact, I spent most of the afternoon there. And I thought to myself, you know, how will I expand my life if I constantly stay safe? I need to jump out of this cup. I need to explore where I am. Because my tendency is as a bit of a loner, you know. And I thought, I need to expand my life, really. This is what this trip is all about. Connecting with others. Sharing with others. And I thought these cards really reflected that. I also had the Star here from the Antique Anatomy. So, I mean, the choice was mine to do what I wanted to do. There's no constraints. There was no obligations I needed to fill. Time was totally mine. And I did connect, actually, with a few people in Notre Dame. One was this wonderful lad, and he had all these tattoos, he was dressed beautifully, and he really caught my eye. And I ended up telling him how much I admired his outfit, his style and everything, and he was chuffed. He was absolutely chuffed. And then a bit later on, I'm videoing parts of Notre Dame for my memories. I'll put a few up. But I said to him, I'm going to end up videoing you, you know that. And so he posed for me. I'll put it up above here. He posed for me. He did a twirl for me. Oh, he was amazing. I really fell in love with him and his whole aesthetic. I thought he was wonderful. And then I didn't meet, I sort of bumped into the Spanish people group, and they did not speak a word of English, and I did not speak a word of Spanish. And because we were in Notre Dame Cathedral, there was no internet, there was no signal for the phones. So even trying to use Google Translate was a no-no. And what they wanted to know was about the camera that I was using. Now, I bought myself a little camera that is a vlogging camera, essentially. And I bought it especially for the trip. I'll just show you, actually. This is it here. So it's really small, really lightweight. This is an extra bit on it. It's a battery, so you can get a bit more battery on it. And they were fascinated with this camera. They saw me filming with it, saw how small it was, and they were like trying to ask me what it was and where I got it from. If you're interested, it's a DJI Pocket 3, which they're pretty difficult to get a hold of for some reason. And I do believe the next one is coming out, the Pocket 4, but it's a camera, but it also has a gimbal. And I have battered it a little bit. But yeah, they were really intrigued about my camera. And so they were trying to ask me about it, and I was trying to tell them what it was and where I got it. And yeah, it was all turning out to be a little bit funny, I suppose you could say. It's just a protective case that I bought to go with it from something Concept, K&F Concept. But yeah, so, but we did manage to actually communicate, even given the fact that we were from different parts of the world and we didn't speak each other's language. So yeah, I connected. And so I was so pleased that I had these connections with these people that I was coming into contact with quite naturally and easily, really. You know, we were laughing. I showed them how the camera reversed, and they were having photos of themselves and they were giggling. It was a really good time. And of course, this guy as well who posed for my camera. And yeah, with the star card, that sort of reminded me, when I looked up, when you look up at the ceiling in some of the side chapels in the Notre Dame, there are stars painted on the ceilings. So that sort of reminded me of this card, because I was looking up and people were pointing up. You see this finger pointing, and people were pointing up to these stars. So yeah, it really did resonate with my trip to Notre Dame and Bob's Cafe. And then I got the metro back to the bus that I needed to catch to get where I needed to go home to my apart hotel. And I popped into a cafe which was pret-a-manger. And I ordered a drink, and I ordered a little pasta del latte. And I went to the toilet while they were making it. And when I came back, the girl behind the counter, when I went to pay, said, no, this one's on me. She actually gifted me my drink and my little sweet treat. Oh, it was perfect pull, wasn't it? Looking back, perfect pull. So yeah. And the day before, I'd been on that bateau bus. Oh, that was a bit challenging, actually, because it was a boiling hot day. The whole of the trip to Paris was hot. And I mean like 34 degrees hot. And the bateau bus is a perspex covered boat. You can imagine with the sun streaming through. But that was okay. We were travelling along. But on the way back, the police had stopped all the traffic. Something was going on. They were scouring the Seine for something, and we were stuck there for quite some time before they would let us through. And so I didn't even have a drink of water, so I was gasping. And so that wasn't an altogether pleasant experience that first day. So I was really happy that second day when it all seemed to be going a little bit more flowing for me. So that was Notre Dame. And then the following day I drew 10 of Pentacles, the 5 of Pentacles, the 7 of Cups, and the World card. And this was the day that I went to the French Playing Card Museum. Oh my days. This is what I went to Paris for. It was amazing. And it struck me with this 10 of Pentacles, you know, the whole thing about legacy and handing down our legacy to the next generation. While I was in the Playing Card Museum, a group of children came in with their teacher, and I realised that the person that was leading the talk and talking to these kids, they were about 7, 8 years old, maybe 9, all sat down in a group, all looking rapt at the images and listening to the person that was telling them all about it. And then I realised that this person was telling them the history of tarot. I was so jealous. Why couldn't they do that in my school? It just seemed so natural to be teaching school children all about tarot. I thought it was just fantastic. It lifted me. It totally lifted me. How wonderful. And reminded me of this card, you know, the next generation benefiting from the wisdom of the past.
D'accord. Alors, on va peut-être se séparer sur 3 tables.
So this is the French Playing Card Museum. This is what the building looks like outside. And they even have, you can see it here, a little area where you can have a drink. And they do get-togethers and things up there. little events. Oh look, from the French Playing Card Museum. So those are the 2 postcards that I bought there. This is, I would imagine, the page. What's it say? Jean Lancasseur, France fan, 17th century. Debut the 18th century. Me trying to read French. Oh dear, you have to laugh. Anyway, if you're interested or you're in Paris, I do highly recommend you go here. This is the address. Yeah. So I thoroughly enjoyed my time there. And I have done a video where I use this pocket camera again to video some of the exhibits there. However, it was very hot once again, and for some reason I was shaking. I was very shaky as I held it. I don't know why. You know, I had that dry throat when I arrived. That lasted a few days, and also I don't know, I was just really shaky. It might have been the heat. So it's not a brilliant video, I'll say that right now, but I just wanted to capture what was there. So if you're interested in that, I'll edit it and put it up. And there were a lot of examples of newer decks as well there, and art type decks, as well as normal playing cards. But of course I was very interested in the tarot side of it, and going back to feeling a little bit shaky, my legs had felt really weak on that morning, and I was debating whether even to go out. I felt like a little poorly, but then I thought, I'm caging myself in really, aren't I? You know, there's a lovely world out there, and I don't want to stay indoors, and I could do that at home. So it was my decision to go out, even though going out felt a little bit unnerving for me. You know, trying to navigate the transport system in Paris when you don't really know anything about it was a little bit traumatic for me, but I did it, and I'm really proud of myself that I did it. Oh yes, I wanted obviously to buy some decks at the Playing Card Museum, and they had a lot of heritage decks and they were all sealed. And so I was sort of going in blind. Do I want this one, this one, this one? Which one do I want? And I chose one. And like I say, I chose it blind. And then when I got back to where I was staying, I went on YouTube and looked at all the different decks that I'd seen there to see if I'd made the right choice. And I think I made the right choice. And so I bought just one deck there, which was this one. And I've done a walkthrough of this and talked about another deck as well there on that other video. So check that out if you want to see that. And the other deck that I bought wasn't from the Playing Card Museum, but it was after I watched some YouTube videos. I decided I wanted this one, and I bought that from somewhere else. But like I say, that's all in that other video, so you check that out if you're interested. And then the world card. Well, to me, this sort of represented the fact that I was leaving my safe space and going out into the world and discovering what is outside of my comfort zone, really. And that's how I saw the world card from the Antique Anatomy. And being a little bit macabre as well is the fact that, you know, how many years have I got left on this earth? And I'm not going to spend them enclosed in my own little world. I want to actually explore other things. So that's what that represented to me. So the next 4 cards, the next day, let's get those. So these were the cards for the next day. The 4 of Cups, the Emperor, and the Magician, and the Chariot. So it was, like I say, every day was really, really hot. So finding somewhere shady was a priority, really. I couldn't spend too much time outside, I found. And I thought, well, Galerie Lafayette, that's indoors. It's on the list of places that I'd like to go. I'd like to visit. And so I took this opportunity to meet with somebody that connected with from America, from Houston, actually. And we met up there. And of course, Les Galeries Lafayette, is Haussmann. Haussmann designed a lot of the layout of Paris, and so I thought that sort of coincided here with the card pull that I had of the emperor. And so this emperor here is controlling all these people here. So maybe, you know, you could think of this as the builders and the architects and everything that helped to bring his vision to life. And he was the magician of that. And you can even see sort of roads and layouts here, which sort of echoed what I was thinking. So the roads, the layouts, the buildings, and the people in charge of that, the people making the magic happen that we see Paris as today. It's down to these people with the chariot. Go back to the magician a little bit. Now, as I said, I bought those tarot cards from the Playing Card Museum and decided that there was another deck that I liked after I watched some YouTube videos, and that was the Gassman Tarot, if that's how it's pronounced, this one here. And I went to a little shop just round from Galerie Lafayette called La Corneline, and they had it there. I mean, I think they had every deck going, actually. It was an amazing shop. Now, in the Playing Card Museum, all the tarot decks were €28, every one of them, which I thought was a really good price. When I went here, this one, $39.50, and I was like, oh, do I, don't I? Because the thoughts of actually doing that bus again and that metro with all those people in that heat to get back to the French Playing Card Museum to pick another one up, I just couldn't. I just couldn't face that journey again. It sort of reminds me of the chariot a little bit. And so I bit the bullet, and obviously I bought that. You can see I've got the one with the sticker for $39.50 on it, so I obviously bought it. When I was in the Galerie Lafayette, I bought this little pouch to put these two decks in as well. They fitted in perfectly, like, perfectly. So I have got a walkthrough of these decks, and I'll link that below. I seem to be losing a little bit of light here, so I do apologise for that, but I'll soldier on. Okay, transport. The chariot. Transport. Oh my days. I got on the wrong bus. Oh, trying to get back to where I was. It's quite a distance from anywhere, the place that I was staying, which, you know, lesson learned. If I ever went again, or if I go away again, I will do a little bit more research as to how far from everywhere the accommodation is, because that was a little bit of an issue. But yeah, I got on the wrong bus. Not only did I get on the wrong bus, I got on the wrong stop on the train as well. So I had a really long journey back, and I tell you, I was soaked to the skin from the heat. So a good day, and then it ended not so well. But yes, I survived, so there's that. Anyway, the next day I pulled, let's have a look, Page of Swords, the Eight of Cups, lo and behold the Tower. Oh look, the Tower. Oh dear. And the Hierophant, or Hierophant, however you want to say that. So I pulled these cards before I walked out the door. I looked at that one and I thought, oh, I don't think today is going to go too well. I'd arranged to meet this American lady and we were going to Versailles. What can I say? It was getting to Versailles that proved to be this card, because we'd arranged to meet at a certain time and this lady was over an hour late. Not her fault. Not her fault. And so we decided, instead of doing the trains and going that way, that we would actually get a taxi. They're called Bolt, a bit like our Uber. Well, that was a disaster, an absolute disaster, because they couldn't find us. They could not find us. And you know, she was getting very irate, very upset, because understandably so. You know, they're Paris taxi drivers. Why don't they know where we are? We're in the centre of Paris and they can't find us. And we were on a road. So yeah, it was not a great start to the day. But Versailles was amazing, absolutely amazing. I'll put a few images up as I'm talking here. Oh yeah, so the other thing was the tower situation was the adapter that I had. I'd borrowed an adapter from my niece and it was broken and it gave me an electric shock. The tower as well. And I was running out of power for my my iPad and my phone. So I was trying to find somewhere, and it was really early in the morning when I'd left, trying to find somewhere where I could actually buy another adapter, and everywhere was closed. No one was open. So there was that catastrophe to deal with as well. I did eventually sort it out, and it all came well in the end anyway. It took 4 drivers to find us, 4 different Bolt drivers. So maybe it was us. So yeah, the Page of Swords is all about seeking knowledge, which is why I was going to Versailles. I'd watched the series Marie Antoinette, brilliant series. I'd finished the 2nd series before I left. And I was very, very curious to see for myself and feel for myself the energy of Versailles. There's so many people there. It's like really hard to just soak in the atmosphere of the palace, the atmosphere of the Hall of Mirrors. It was a little bit of a disappointment in that respect. What I did really, really enjoy though was Trianon. And Trianon was Marie Antoinette's place of escape, really, and she'd had it landscaped, and it was absolutely beautiful and spent a lot of time there. So yeah, I went there for my own personal growth, really. Now, we can see the 8 of Cups of sort of losing hope and disappointment, maybe. And I think the thing I was disappointed with, as I said, was not actually being able to fully immerse myself in the atmosphere of the palace. But then again, I mean, it's so many hundred years ago, maybe it is just a museum now. Just a museum, and we all know what happened at the end of their reign. So maybe that came into it as well. And the Hierophant, for me, is knowledge. Asking for help, really, from somebody who has more information, more knowledge than I do. And I found that to be my travelling companion for the day, because she was the type of person, as she told me, that likes to do heavy research before she goes anywhere, and she knew everything there was to know where to go, what to do. She was just a mine of information, and I needed that because I'm the opposite where research goes. I'm like, I'm the hoof. So I did need that energy, and yeah, she totally provided it for me. So that was indicative, I think, of the Hierophant for me for that day. And then my final day in Paris, I drew the King of Swords. This is interesting. The King of Swords, the 8 of Pentacles, the King of Wands, and from the Antique Anatomy, another king. I was like, what's all these kings about? So the one that's missing, we've got Swords, Wands, and Cups. So Pentacles are missing. So that groundedness was missing there. So we have the problem solver here. 8 of Pentacles, well, yeah, focus, discipline. The King of Wands, decisiveness. Somebody's got calm reactions and emotional stability. So a lot of king energy here, which I think was a little bit of an advice, really. You know, next time I need to actually put the work in and master the situation, not just go in blind. So I have learned that lesson. Yeah, this was the day that I tried to get to Montmartre. I wanted to see Moulin Rouge and meet up with another person that I'd connected to. And the apps that I used 3 different apps, and none of them worked for me, as in got me where I needed to go, and that was Google Maps, Apple Maps, and City Mapper. They took me all around the Wrekin, as you'd say, not to where I needed to be. And I only found that out when I went back and realised just how easy it would have been to get there had I known. And so I came away with more knowledge than I left with. I was half blind. I was misled. You know, you see this bird covering this eye here, and it is like I couldn't see the full picture, and that's how I saw that. These apps just weren't working for me. They weren't detailed enough that I would have wanted. So, you know, like an Eight of Pentacles energy would have been very detailed and very helpful. As it was, it wasn't. As it was, it wasn't. Yeah, you know what I mean. And King of Wands, well, I had to drum up the energy for that trip. It was a lot of walking. Those apps made me walk, and I didn't need to. As it turned out, there was a train that went direct to where I needed to be, or where I ended up actually, which is I ended up at Gardiner. I was like, how have I ended up here? And then they directed me to get onto a bus outside Gardiner. I waited and waited and waited, and the apps were telling me that the bus was due 3 times. That was 3 buses that should have come, and none of them arrived. And then I found out that they'd all been rerouted because of roadworks, and it wasn't showing on the app. So I had to take my calming tonic and rearrange that day, and unfortunately message the lady that I was meeting to say, I'm just not getting there, it's just not happening, I can't do it anymore. I was so tired and I needed energy. So I went, found a cafe, had a meal just to replenish this energy here. And I thought I'll take this opportunity, because tomorrow I'm travelling back, to go into Gardiner and investigate the whole layout and where I needed to be and what I needed to do in preparation. So yeah, in preparation, which sort of echoes this as well, for my journey home. And then I realised that the actual railway station and metros were underneath that station. I did not know that. I wasn't aware of that. And like I say, I gained the knowledge because the reason I'm saying this, when I arrived in Paris, I came out of the Gardiner from the Eurostar onto the pavement, where a taxi driver asked me if I needed to get anywhere. And I said yes, told him where, got in the taxi, and was charged €70. Oh, €70. Now bear in mind, on the way back, the taxi that I took and ordered cost €28 for the same journey. It's things like that that I now have knowledge of, and I'll pass that knowledge on to you. If you ever decide to go to Paris, do your research, because I didn't. Gardiner, it's a very pretty looking station, but outside there's a lot of drunk people, there's a lot of homeless people, there's a lot of addicts, and there's a nasty smell. So be aware of that as well. And yeah, I really needed my calming tonic, because I just got back on the train underneath the Gardiner station, straight back where I needed to be. I was so unhappy. I can't tell you, I was so unhappy. And I'm thinking, I just want to go home. You know, when you get to the point where I want familiarity, I want to go home. So the very next day, I got up really early. I'd ordered my Bolt car, and I was going home. These are the cards that I drew for that day. Around 3 of Pentacles, Devil, the Chariot, the Hangman, and Justice. Now then, what can I say about this? We have harmony, we have poison, and traps. We have the journey, the willpower to get where we want to be. And then we have the Hanged Man, acceptance. And then we have the answers to our problems here with Justice. Well, the journey back was quite smooth, apart from, I don't know if I should tell you this story because it's about other people, but I didn't have a great experience with the people that were sat by me on the Eurostar. They were passive aggressive because they wanted me to move out of my seat, which I had already booked. And I said no. And then, yeah, that made the journey very unpleasant. So I'll just leave that there. And they wanted my cooperation. They wanted me to sing to their tune. But like these bricks here, I stood firm, and I'd booked that seat for a reason. And I wasn't giving it up. So it was a long journey home. I needed the willpower to get home, because not only did the Eurostar to London, I wanted to go to Watkins Bookshop, because I've never been. I wanted to go to Atlantis as well, and another one. But time was against me. I got to St Pancras, and then I needed to get to Paddington, and I managed to get on the tube to do that. I found my way. The devil's in the details, as I found out. I stored my luggage so I could go to these bookshops in London. Got a taxi and stuck in traffic. I tell you what, I had to have the patience of a saint. I really did, because I knew if I'd have just taken the tubes, I'd have got there in minutes. Instead, I'm in a taxi that's costing me over £20 to sit in traffic. But hey ho, that's the way it goes, isn't it? You know, my heart wanted one thing, but the situation gave me another. So I only managed to go to Watkins, and I managed to pick up a couple of decks, but I had to really rush, and really, you know, I didn't have the luxury of time. So at some point I want to go back to London and have the luxury of time. I intend to do that. The video that I did showing those Marseille decks, it also shows the decks that I bought from Watkins. So yeah, check that out if you're interested. But it was a long, long journey. Then I had to get the train from Paddington to Par, and then from Par to where I live. And that was like 12 hours in total. And then I needed to get some shopping, because there was nothing in the fridge, no milk, no, you know, essentials. And then I had to go and fetch Kai. I had to go and fetch my dog and bring him home. And then I had to take the dog out for a walk. So by the time I got home, I was shattered. Absolutely shattered. I tell you, I slept like a log. I absolutely did. Rejuvenate this heart of mine. So I built up my resistance in this holiday, you know. There were things that trapped me, if you like, and that was mainly the transport system as I saw it. So I had to have patience and hang around a lot between, you know, trying to get to places. And yeah, but it all worked out in the end. So I think what I'll do just to end this video is, it's going to be a long video. Apologies. But I'd like to watch this back at some point in the future, and yeah, I think it'd be good for me to watch it back, so that's why I'm videoing it, and you're coming along for the journey. So let's just ask some questions of these decks to finish up my trip. I do love this deck. Do you know what? I could just use this deck for like a year and not grow tired of it. It is so good. I love this deck. Anyway. So what can I take going forward from the lessons learned on my trip to Paris? Oh, here's one, the Six of Wands. And we have a hummingbird tasting the nectar of this flower here. But it's a bit like the carrot and the stick, isn't it? Being misled, thinking that they're free, but they're actually being controlled here, is what I'm seeing. And I'm seeing some very dark, moody skies. So I think what this is telling me that is, I love my freedom. Freedom is one of the most important things for me. But there is a time when I have to go the way I'm being led. Because people have done this before, they've had these adventures before, and they know what's what, and I need to listen to their advice. That's what I'm seeing there. I'm just going to read from the book, because I think it's beautiful actually, what the entry here. And it says, an accomplished woman rides triumphantly on a beautiful hummingbird. She has conquered the bird by attracting him with a colourful flower. Having mastered many skills, she is filled with pride and a deep sense of accomplishment. How good is that? So I can have pride in myself that I accomplished this holiday, if you like. I mean, it was an adventure. I've not actually been out of the country since, I think, 2018. So it was all very new to me. And it says, others acknowledge and applaud her success as well. Now she can go on with her journey wherever she wants to go. Oh, 6 doves sitting on top of her riding stalk look down at her in admiration. So there are the 6 doves. So the upright meaning: triumph, pride, accomplishments and admiration. Reversed: humility, defeat, arrogance, undeserved praise. So that's telling me that I should be proud of what I've done, what I've achieved in this adventure. So going forward, it's given me confidence, really, isn't it, to actually be able to do another journey somewhere else. Okay. What shall I ask? What can I do to improve my health so that if I go on another journey at some point, I'll be strong enough to actually accomplish what I want to? Okay. The Queen of Pentacles. I do love a Queen of Pentacles. So this is an earth card, isn't it? Water and earth. So emotions and stability. So emotional stability there. What a beautiful, beautiful card. It's talking about resourcefulness and the resources of the earth, I would imagine. So good diet. Look after my body. Look after my health so that I am strong enough to take on challenges if and when I meet them, which I probably will. So let's just do one from the Antique Anatomy, and then I'll finish this video off. Advice going forward for future adventures. The 2 of Elixirs. I've had a lot of that, Suze, actually. So there's a choice there. What do we have? Yarrow, which is a love tonic. And Fitzpatrick Pharmaceuticals, passion tincture. So, choose somewhere you love. Choose somewhere that brings passion to you for your adventure, a passionate adventure, something that I love to do. I would love somewhere I would love to go. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing with that. Somewhere I've got an emotional connection to, actually. That might be an idea for my next trip, whenever that is. So now I'm back from the City of Lights, as it's called. What are my plans next as Paris goes? Well, let me show you. I bought a book and it's called The Tarot Reader of Versailles. Isn't that amazing? I was like, I have to have this book. Could her own fate lie in the turn of a card? I think this is all about, can't say it, Mademoiselle Lenormand, I think. Let's see, 2 women, an extraordinary power, an explosive bond. And then we've got other people's opinions of the book, all positive. What does it say? In the early days of the French Revolution and on the streets of Paris, terror reigns. Marie-Anne Adelaide Lenormand, it is Lenormand, is a young woman with an extraordinary power. Through her tarot cards, she can commune with the dead, revolutionaries, and the aristocracy alike, seeking her out to divine their fortunes. Lenormand is loyal to Marie Antoinette and the Dauphin of France, but she has seen the Queen's fate in the cards and must take care that it does not become her own. Oh, okay. One fateful day she comes across Kate, a scullery maid from Ireland who has travelled to Paris for love. Kate has powers too. She can read people's pasts as Lenormand reads their futures. The two young women share an electrifying connection, drawn to each other's abilities. But Kate is hiding something. What will she do, and who will she betray to bring revolution to the shores of her beloved island too? Inspired by an astonishing true story, The Tarot Reader of Versailles is a sweeping, powerful novel where allegiances, betrayals, and even fate itself can be forged or broken by the turn of a card. Oh, alrighty. This is the author. An internationally best-selling Irish author of The Witches of Vardo, she has published 10 novels under her real name, Noelle Harrison, and possesses a doctorate in creative writing from Edinburgh Napier University, where she is also a lecturer in creative writing, and he has been reading tarot cards professionally for over 30 years. Okay, so yeah, I'm really intrigued by this book. Oh, there's the tarot card. I wonder if each one is aligned to a tarot card. Oh, Star of Newt. Oh, this is going to be really interesting. Read. We have Justice there. Oh, isn't that good? The Lovers, listen to your heart. Yeah, there's tarot cards all the way through. Yep, that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be reading The Tarot Reader of Marseille. Who memorised this? Look, it looks like a tarot spread. Yes, it is. The sovereignty of Isis tarot spread is for times when you are in the lowest of spirits, when no matter what bounty is offered you, it is never enough, and all sours. Snake card spread. Reading is powerful periods when we lock ourselves in towers of our own making, believing we have been dealt the hardest cards in all of life. Okay. Oh, anyone, have you read this book? Do you know about this book? Oh, it's just beautiful as well. What's the cover like? There we go. The jacket's beautiful, isn't it? The Tarot Reader of Versailles. Okay, so I'll wrap it up there. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed my little video. Well, there's 3 now, isn't there? But I hope you enjoyed them, and until the next time, thank you so much for being here. Bye, friends. Bye.